Here's something you don't expect from Thailand's monks. Not incense, not meditation, but blackmail-ready smartphone footage. Meet Seeka Miss Golf, the woman whose phone was more scandalous than any monastery gossip chain. Not just thousands, but tens of thousands of videos, some with monks still draped in saffron, used to squeeze the clergy for millions in baht. So, who is she? And how did this happen? At first glance, it sounds like a wild tabloid headline. Something you'd expect to see splashed across the front page, too outrageous to be true. But as the details unfold, the story only grows more unbelievable, blurring the line between rumor and reality. Yet this isn't fiction. It's a scandal so rich, so surreal, that it's shaking the very foundations of Thailand's most revered institution, Theravada Buddhism. The faith that has shaped the nation's identity for centuries now finds itself at the center of a storm. It all begins with a respected abbot who vanishes without a trace, leaving his followers in shock and the community desperate for answers. Whispers ripple through temple halls as devotees struggle to make sense of the growing chaos and uncertainty. Authorities soon uncover explicit footage on a 35-year-old woman's phones exposing a web of secrets. Monks, once held in the highest esteem, are being defrocked, their reputations shattered. Allegations of temple money being siphoned off for personal gain only deepen the scandal, raising questions about trust, faith, and the misuse of sacred donations. Even the king is compelled to act, revoking ecclesiastical titles in a rare and public display of royal disapproval, signaling just how serious the crisis has become. This isn't mere gossip. It's a moment when the structural hypocrisy of an entire institution is laid bare for all to see, forcing a nation to confront uncomfortable truths. Who is Seeka Miss Golf? Her name has echoed through the streets of Bangkok, whispered in temple corridors, and splashed across headlines. But behind the nickname lies a real person, one whose actions would shake the very foundations of Thailand's religious and social order. Her real name is Willawan Msawat. In her mid-30s, she was arrested in Nonthaburi, a bustling province just outside Bangkok. The arrest sent shockwaves through the community, as few could believe that someone so seemingly ordinary could be at the center of such an extraordinary scandal. Willawan stands accused of a scheme both audacious and deeply disturbing. She allegedly seduced senior Buddhist monks, respected spiritual leaders, secretly recording their most private moments. With these recordings, she is said to have extorted hundreds of millions of baht, threatening to expose the monks unless they paid up. The scale of the operation stunned investigators, revealing a web of deceit, manipulation, and greed. The story began to unravel in mid-June 2025. A prominent abbot at Wat Tri Thotsathep, a revered temple in Bangkok, suddenly vanished. Whispers of scandal and rumors of blackmail began to circulate, but few could imagine the true extent of what was about to be uncovered. On July 15, 2025, police raided Willawan's upscale home. What they found was staggering. 5 smartphones, each packed with evidence, over 80,000 files, many of them intimate videos and photos of monks in compromising situations, some even still wearing their saffron robes. The evidence painted a picture of systematic exploitation carried out with chilling precision. Willawan now faces a barrage of serious charges: extortion, money laundering, and receiving stolen property. The legal proceedings have gripped the nation, with every new detail sparking outrage and disbelief. Authorities have traced a staggering 385 million baht, roughly $12 million or 102 crore rupees, in suspicious financial transfers. These funds, funneled from monks and possibly even temple accounts, reveal just how far-reaching the scandal truly is. The fallout has been swift and severe. 9 senior monks, including some of the country's most high-ranking abbots, have been defrocked in disgrace. 2 more monks, fearing arrest and public shame, have gone into hiding, their whereabouts unknown. In response, the Thai government and the Buddhist clergy have taken unprecedented action. The king himself revoked the royal titles of 81 monks, stripping them of their honors in a dramatic public statement. The Senate is now considering new laws that would criminalize sexual relations with monks, aiming to restore faith in the clergy and prevent future scandals of this magnitude. Across the country, there is a growing public demand for sweeping temple audits and much stricter penalties for those who abuse their positions. The story of Seeka Miss Golf has become a national reckoning, forcing Thailand to confront uncomfortable truths about power, faith, and accountability. This is how it usually goes. Seduce, record and extort, That's the rule of three, and honestly it's as straightforward as it sounds. You'd think being a monk was a vow of silence and celibacy, but apparently silence is more valuable, if you can record it and extort millions. One commentator put it best: women have long been painted as snakes in temple murals, symbolizing temptation and deceit. This age-old narrative has been deeply ingrained in the cultural psyche, and now, when the clergy's moral rot is exposed, the woman takes the fall, while the monks are cast as victims. The media frenzy only adds fuel to the fire, sensationalizing every detail, and really, if scandal were a religion, this would be Thailand's best sermon yet. The public watches captivated as the drama unfolds, questioning the integrity of institutions they once revered. Even those cloaked in holiness are human, vulnerable to power, desire, and corruption. Institutions can't hide behind robes when digital proof emerges, and sometimes exposing hypocrisy comes from the least expected source. 385 million baht in transfers, not pocket money. 80,000 explicit files and counting. 81 royal titles revoked, even kings get exasperated. So what do you think? Is Willowan just a blackmailer or a whistleblower exposing a flawed system? Should monks be held equally accountable, or is this a slippery slope for religious freedom? Comment below. Like and subscribe to Dark Observer for the next deep dive into scandals that reveal far more than we bargained for and a whole lot of truth.